We're going to come right in now. The great Harris Faulkner, host of the Faulkner Focus and co-host of Outnumbered on Fox News. So thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
I have a sound from Jeanine Pirro. Let's run some tape on this as yet another angle to this story.
If they're under 18 years of age, I can only get the case if it's murder, rob one, rape, even if they shoot a gun but don't kill you, I can't get it. So the law has to be changed. All right, then even assuming I get the case, I get jurisdiction, I get a conviction, the D.C. Council has given the judges the ability to give probation on shootings. And so then it's up to them. So if we work hard, we get a conviction, they want to wipe it out. So that needs all to be changed.
Okay. How powerful is that? How powerful is that from Jeanine Pirro, who is a great friend of all of ours, but how powerful?
Fantastic. I mean, what she's saying is that this is still within our hands, but it's unsustainable if we can't go after the perpetrators because their birthdays are a couple of years younger than something that the district deems as only on the table. And look, New York has done it too. They want to start to raise their adulthood for crimes to 18 as well. I mean, if that's the case, the cartels will just run away with our country because they like to indoctrinate and pull in, if you will, recruit the younger kids. The kids know that they're not going to do any time, and they do the worst of crimes for these cartels. And who let them in? Biden. So they're here. So this is one part, and it's one of the reasons today, because we covered it live on the Faulkner Focus. That's when the news conference was happening. It's one of the reasons that the president today said, Larry, look, I'm going to start off with the illegal alien crisis that we have in this country. They are tied together. And then you and former Speaker Newt Gingrich tied something else in part. Yeah, why all of a sudden does Mamdani and the Midwest Mamdani, Fatah, what is it that is so similar to their situations, to their vision for cities? Well, if you take away people's protection, they don't have the time or the resistance to do anything about the politics that you perpetrate in their lives. They're going to be fighting for those lives, trying to survive. So while the rest of the country may have decreasing crime, some of these Democrat-led cities are having a burst in the most violent outbreaks of crime. So overall, does it look better on a spreadsheet? Maybe. But we're talking the worst of the crimes are being perpetrated. So you're bringing in a lot of things. The president talked about this today. He's got the power to do this in D.C., to take over the police force there through Section 740. And so we'll see. Can that spread? How far can he go? And he said today, and I thought this was so moving, we will not lose our American cities. Not on his watch.
And we can't lose our nation's capital.
No.
That's not a small... That's not just one city. That's the capital of the United States. Yes. And when Laura Ingraham said this last week, you can't have a great country, a superpower country. We want people to come here. Yep. We want people to come to the Capitol. We want people to see the beautiful buildings who need to be cleaned up. And we want them to be safe, which they are not.
Well, look, if we are going to say that this republic is so amazing, then it has to be that shining beacon on a hill. It can't be something that's overrun by crime and homelessness. He talked about homelessness too.
Yes.
Look, the job is mighty, but it isn't just D.C. This is overall. There's a reason why, and I like that you call them communists too, because I mean, democratic socialist feels like you're putting a little, icing on a cupcake there. Come on, let's sell it for what it is. It's got dog dew in the center, so don't eat it. But when you talk about communists moving in, of course, they lower your resistance because you're too worried about your security and safety. And then they can hit you with all of their political plans, which then dig out all the money out of your pockets.
So Mamdani the commie is campaigning against
Is that
Trump.
Your nickname?
Yes.
Oh,
actually,
hilarious.
I got to give credit where credit is due. President first said it.
He did, okay.
Or something to that effect.
Well, you guys...
And then I picked it up, and a few others have picked it up since then. A 5-borough anti-Trump tour in New York City. Okay, this is right up your alley. He wants to run against Trump, not against crime, homelessness, a sinking economy, and people fleeing New York City and New York State. No, no, no. He wants to run against Trump. What do you make of that?
All right. So who is he besties with on this tour, the anti-Trump tour? He's alongside Representative Jerry Nadler, former House Judiciary Chairman. Does he like Trump? No. Right? I mean, he wrote the book
that was
on,
a rhetorical question.
On Trump,
I'm sorry.
Right? he wrote the book on TDS. So if you're going to have him as your partner, first of all, I thought this also was about age and legacy for the left. I thought they wanted the younger crowd. That would not be Jerry Nadler. Okay, so I'm a little confused about that too. But you bring it up, that Trump derangement syndrome is going to be the shiny object of the five-borough anti-Trump tour.
That's right.
Not the $7 billion, $7 billion that the Dems had to spend after letting in all of those illegal aliens that flowed into our country and then made their way up in many, many cases to New York City. They had free debit cards. They had free housing. They had things we don't give our military veterans.
Even Eric Adams was basically waving the white flag.
Yeah, he was like, this is unsustainable.
Help me.
Right.
And he got some relief from the
But
Trump
this is what
Justice Department.
Mamdani wants to sell. And he knows if he defunds the police, which now he says he's not going to do, he's going to shift the resources. What do you think that means? It's not going to go to cops. It's not going to go to the strategic forces that protected people in that building that got hit a week and a half ago in the center of Manhattan.
He wants to abolish that group.
Right.
Which is the
shift
emergency
the funds,
group.
he says, right?
He's just trying to weasel.
If you shift the funds in your household away from food, Mrs. Kudlow would march you right out. Yeah. She would be like, what in the world are you doing? I have to cook dinner tonight. You've shifted all my funds. I can't feed anybody. I mean, I'm making a little bit of a joke like that, but come on.
I agree.
He can't shift the funds for police. So there's a lot of mess going on. And so what does he do? He can't fix any of it. He doesn't have a vision to fix any of it. He's just going to break it further. Run against Trump.
Pray that his ultra left-wing base turns out for him. That's
well,
a gamble
and he gets
he's making.
famous. Why do you think he went to D.C. first? I don't even know if he necessarily wants to be mayor of New York City.
I think it's been tried before, run against Trump. Now, Democrats didn't really work for them in the last presidential election. All they did was the Trump derangement syndrome. It was Mr. Trump who was out there on the issues, like law and order, right? Like closing the border, right? Like getting rid of the worst criminals, like cutting taxes and deregulating and cheap energy. Okay, the question now in New York, okay, we live and work in New York. The question is, will his opponents, you got Curtis Sliwa, who should certainly know better. Andrew Cuomo, I don't think has any energy. Eric Adams is last in the poll. They have to have a program to bring it back, just the way Trump is bringing back law and order.
Right.
They have to have a similar program to keep pounding Mamdani's comment on that. And taxes, for heaven's sakes, and regulate. You can't build. You want affordable homes? You can't build a home because there's 1.5 million regulations here in New York, and anyway, mortgage rates are too high. That's a different subject. But really, it's up to the Republicans. It's up to the independents. It's up to some Democrats to right their ship.
The Independent is not a party. So
what's wrong with the Democrats in the city?
The independents may stay home. They didn't vote last time around. In the primary, the rich people supported Mamdani. I don't know, maybe it was a sense of guilt. Maybe they were the only ones who turned out. But the people who were poorest actually voted for Andrew Cuomo.
That's right.
Okay? So by 13 points. So the question then becomes, who gets out of this race? And if President Trump or other Republicans are not going to back Curtis Sliwa, because this is his second time running, if they're not going to back him, then who are they going to back? And they better do it soon.
Well, Trump's putting law and order right back on the front page.
Then go with the cop Eric Adams, but you got to get his disapprovals.
Very smart.
You got to get those down because he's up 69% in disapproval.
Harris, they won't let me talk to you. They won't let me talk to you. The producers are yelling. Look at him jumping up.
This has been like, I have to tell you, your riff off the top on fire. That's why I have so much energy. I mean, Larry got me going.
The best. I insist on talking to her. Anyway, Harris Faulkner. You can catch Harris hosting the Faulkner Focus Wednesday at 11 Eastern on the Fox News Channel. What about Outnumbered? I've been on that couch several times,
Last week.
and I'm not even getting therapy.